Welcome to my channel Pocket Change Coins, because, as you know, old is gold. Some of the rarest coins worth big money could be hiding in your hands right now. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and watch till the end. Let's dive in. First, we're about to uncover the amazing story behind one of the most fascinating and surprisingly valuable coins from the modern era, the United States $quarter coin from 1965. At first glance, it might seem like just another quarter in your pocket change, but there's much more to it. From hidden minting errors to incredible rarity and historical significance, the 1965 quarter has become a prized discovery for those who know exactly what to look for. So stay tuned till the very end. This is one coin you won't want to overlook. The year 1965 marked a major turning point in U.S. coin history. This was the first year the U.S. Mint transitioned from striking quarters in 90% silver to the new copper-nickel clad composition. This change was due to the rising cost of silver and an effort to prevent hoarding, but this shift wasn't without its complications. As a result, some unusual and highly collectible coins made it into circulation, including a few 1965 quarters that were accidentally struck on silver planchets meant for previous years. These transitional errors are extremely rare and are now worth thousands of dollars to collectors. What makes the 1965 quarter especially interesting is the fact that while millions were produced, a very small number of silver planchet strikes have been verified by major grading companies like PCGS and NGC. If you happen to find one that looks brighter, sounds slightly different when dropped, or weighs around 6.25 grams instead of the standard 5.67 grams, you might be holding a silver transitional error from 1965. These are exactly the types of finds that get numismatists and coin hunters buzzing with excitement, but the silver strike isn't the only rarity to look out for. There are also 1965 quarters with double die obverse errors, meaning the inscriptions like "Liberty," "In God We Trust," or even the date itself may appear slightly doubled. This occurs during the minting process when the die strikes the coin more than once out of alignment. These double die varieties are scarce and highly valuable, especially when found in uncirculated condition. Another exciting possibility is finding a 1965 quarter struck on a wrong planchet, such as one intended for a dime or even a foreign coin. These minting mistakes are extremely rare and often escape unnoticed, but when discovered, they become highly valuable due to their uniqueness. Look for off-weight coins, strange colors, or odd shapes. These clues might indicate a planchet error that collectors would love to own. Let's not forget about off-center strikes, which are another type of error that adds huge value. A 1965 quarter that is misaligned and struck off-center, especially one that still clearly shows the date, can be a true gem. Combine that with a mint state grade and you have a coin that stands out in any collection. Grading plays a huge role in determining the value of any coin, and the 1965 quarter is no exception. Coins in mint state, especially those graded MS65 or higher, are incredibly rare. Most quarters from this year were heavily circulated, so finding one in pristine condition is extremely difficult. That's why high-grade 1965 quarters with visible mint errors are so sought after. They're the perfect combination of rarity, condition, and historical importance. Now here's where things get even more exciting: the auction scene. In recent years, we've seen a surge in collector demand for error coins and transitional pieces from the 1960s. One extraordinary example of a 1965 quarter, a silver planchet error in mint state condition, stunned the numismatic world by selling at auction for an unbelievable price. After a wave of competitive bidding, the final sale price soared to an incredible $200,000, a jaw-dropping figure for a coin that once could have been found in loose change. So now the big question is, do you have a 1965 quarter in your collection? It's time to take a second look. Check for unusual color, weight, doubling, or misstrikes. Even a subtle difference can mean you're holding something extremely rare. If you think your coin is special, get it professionally evaluated by a reputable grading service. And remember, rarity plus condition is what turns common coins into legendary finds, because yes, it's absolutely true, a 1965 quarter, when struck on a silver planchet or bearing a rare error in pristine condition, can be worth an astonishing $200,000. Second rare coin, we're diving deep into one of the most mysterious and intriguing coins from the modern era, the United States $quarter coin from 1970 with the D mint mark. At first glance, it may look like just another Washington quarter, the kind you'd use to buy a soda or toss into a toll machine. But behind this seemingly ordinary coin lies a story of rare errors, hidden value, and numismatic surprises that could turn your spare change into serious cash. Watch this video all the way through, because you won't believe what this coin could be worth. Let's talk about history for a moment. The 1970 D quarter was minted at the Denver Mint and features the traditional profile of George Washington on the obverse, a design by the legendary sculptor John Flanagan, and the proud heraldic eagle on the reverse, clutching arrows with wings spread wide. This coin belongs to the pre-bicentennial era, a time when millions of coins were being pumped out to keep up with economic demand. But among those millions, only a tiny handful were struck with rare and unusual errors, and those are the coins collectors are paying top dollar to find. Now, let's uncover the magic, mint errors and rare varieties. One of the most thrilling discoveries involving the 1970 D quarter is the overstruck coin. Yes, you heard that right. Some 1970 D quarters were accidentally struck over a 1941 Canadian quarter. You can actually see remnants of the older coin's design underneath the newer one. These coins are jaw-dropping to see in person and are considered among the rarest and most desirable mint errors in modern U.S. coin history. If you find one, you could be looking at a once-in-a-lifetime discovery, but that's not all. Collectors are also on the lookout for double die errors, particularly on the obverse side. Look carefully at the word liberty or the phrase, "In God we trust." If you notice a shadowy doubling effect on the letters, it could be a true double die variety, and that instantly boosts its value into the thousands. These types of errors happen when the die strikes the coin twice slightly out of alignment, and they're a dream come true for error hunters. Another type of error that sets collectors' hearts racing is the off-center strike. This occurs when the coin blank isn't properly aligned during the minting process, causing the entire design to shift to one side. A 1970 D quarter with a significant off-center error, especially one where the date and mint mark are still visible, is considered a premium error and can fetch impressive prices at auction. And let's not forget about struck-through errors, where debris or grease gets between the die and the coin blank, causing strange textures or missing design elements. These coins are one of a kind, no two are exactly alike, and the unusual nature of the error makes them highly collectible. Combine that with strong eye appeal, and you've got a quarter that collectors will chase across the country. Of course, a coin's condition plays a major role in its value. High-grade 1970 D quarters that have never been in circulation, those that are shiny, crisp, and flawless, are graded by professionals using the mint state scale. A coin graded MS65 or higher is especially rare for this issue, and when paired with any of the errors we just talked about, the value jumps dramatically. These coins represent the perfect storm of rarity, condition, and history. Let's talk auctions for a moment. One of the most stunning examples of a 1970 D quarter struck over a 1941 Canadian coin made national headlines when it was offered at a major U.S. coin auction. Collectors went wild for it, pushing bids higher and higher until the final sale price hit an incredible figure. And that's what makes the world of coins so exciting. Something that looks so simple can hide a value beyond imagination. So here's your mission: dig through your change jars, your dresser drawers, your old collections, and don't ignore the 1970 D quarters. Look for signs of doubling, off-center strikes, strange texturing, or hints of an overstrike. A small detail could make all the difference. If you find something unusual, don't hesitate to send it to a professional grading service for verification. It might be one of the rarest coins of your life, because yes, with the right error, in the right condition, and with just a little bit of luck, your 1970 D quarter could be worth as much as $50,000. That's right, a coin that once cost just 25 cents might now be worth more than a brand new car. Third expensive coin, we're diving deep into a hidden gem of American coinage, the United States $quarter coin from 1979. You may have seen this coin hundreds of times, passed it through your hands without a second thought, but what if I told you that some special versions of this very coin could be worth a small fortune? That's right, if your 1979 quarter has certain rare features or mint errors, it could be worth tens of thousands of dollars today. So stay with me, because this video is going to open your eyes to a coin that might just be sitting in your change jar right now. The 1979 quarter was struck during a time when the U.S. Mint was producing coins in high volumes to meet national demand. Featuring the classic image of George Washington on the obverse and the heraldic eagle on the reverse, this coin may seem ordinary on the surface. But as every collector knows, it's what's hidden in the fine details that can make a coin incredibly rare and valuable. That's exactly what makes this coin so exciting, the unexpected possibilities behind a familiar face. Now let's talk about what transforms a regular 1979 quarter into a coin collector's dream. One of the most thrilling aspects is the presence of mint errors, and trust me, there are a few key ones you absolutely need to know about. Among the most prized is the double die obverse, where inscriptions like "Liberty" or "In God We Trust" appear slightly doubled. This happens when the die that stamps the design onto the coin shifts between strikes, leaving a visible doubling effect. These coins are easy to miss if you're not looking closely, but for collectors, that subtle doubling can mean serious money. Another major error to watch for is the off-center strike. This occurs when the coin blank isn't properly aligned within the press, causing the design to be printed off-center. Depending on how far off-center the coin is, and if the date and mint mark are still visible, such a coin could be extremely valuable. It's this kind of visual misalignment that collectors chase, because each one is unique and tells its own story of how it slipped through the cracks at the mint. There's also the clipped planchet error, where a portion of the coin appears to be missing due to a misfeed in the blanking process. These clipped quarters from 1979 are rare but known to exist, and when found in excellent condition, they fetch high prices. The more dramatic the clip, the more eye-catching and collectible the coin becomes. Let's not forget another key detail that plays a huge role in value: condition. If you happen to find a 1979 quarter with a valuable error and it's in mint state, that's when you hit the jackpot. Coins that are uncirculated and have a clean, sharp strike are far less common than you might think. Most of the 1979 quarters saw heavy circulation, so a high-grade example is a rare find. Coins graded MS65 or above by PCGS or NGC are especially desirable and often attract serious competition at auction. Speaking of auctions, let's talk about the real market value of these coins. In recent years, a number of 1979 quarters with rare errors, like strong doubling or dramatic off-center strikes, have made their way into elite coin auctions. Bidding for these coins has surprised even veteran collectors, with final sale prices going far beyond expectations. One particular 1979 quarter featuring a stunning double die error and graded in near-flawless condition sold for an astonishing $30,000, yes, $30,000 for a coin that originally had a face value of just 25 cents, and this is exactly why coin hunting has become a passion for so many people across the world. It's not just about value, it's about history, discovery, and the excitement of uncovering something rare in the most unexpected places. Whether you're a beginner or a seasoned numismatist, coins like the 1979 quarter remind us that every pocketful of change holds the possibility of a hidden treasure. So, here's what you need to do. Go through your quarters, check every 1979 coin you come across. Look closely for signs of doubling, off-center strikes, clipped planchets, or anything unusual. And if you're unsure, it's always a great idea to have your coin examined by a professional grading service. That little quarter in your collection might just be your ticket to an incredible payday, because yes, with the right error and in the right condition, your 1979 quarter could be worth as much as $30,000. Especially, exciting world of hidden gems in your pocket change, focusing on a coin that many people overlook, the United States $quarter coin from 1988 with the D mint mark. At first glance, this quarter might seem like just another piece of spare change, but what if I told you that certain rare varieties of this coin have become incredibly valuable and sought after in the world of numismatics? Stay with us until the very end, because we're uncovering the mystery behind one of the most underrated quarters that could be worth thousands of dollars if you know what to look for. The 1988 D quarter was struck at the Denver Mint and is part of the long-running Washington Quarter series, featuring the iconic portrait of George Washington on the obverse and the eagle on the reverse. These coins were minted in huge numbers to keep up with the demands of daily commerce, and millions of them passed through the hands of Americans across the country. But as with many coins produced in high volume, a few exceptional pieces were struck with rare errors and anomalies, and those are the coins that collectors are hunting down today with great enthusiasm. One of the most exciting features that can elevate a 1988 D quarter from ordinary to extraordinary is the double die error. This occurs when the coin is struck more than once by the same die in a slightly different position, creating a doubling effect on the design elements. Look closely at the words, "Liberty," "In God We Trust," and even the date. If you notice slight but distinct shadow-like doubling on these inscriptions, you may be holding a rare and valuable double die variety, a coin that collectors will pay a premium for. Another rare and captivating error to watch for is the off-center strike. When the blank planchet isn't perfectly centered in the coining press, it results in a design that appears shifted to one side, with some details missing entirely. If a 1988 D quarter is struck off-center, especially in a way that still clearly shows the date and mint mark, it becomes an error coin of great interest and can command high prices depending on how dramatic the misalignment is. There's also the ever-elusive clipped planchet error, where a portion of the coin is cut off due to an error during the blanking process. These clipped quarters are rare and visually striking, instantly attracting attention from experienced collectors. When such an error is paired with a high grade, meaning the coin has little to no wear and retains its original luster, the value increases substantially. Speaking of grade, condition is key when it comes to determining a coin's worth. A 1988 D quarter in uncirculated condition, especially one graded MS65 or higher by a professional service like PCGS or NGC, is already quite desirable. But when you combine pristine condition with a rare mint error, that's when the true value skyrockets. These are the types of coins that bring excitement to auctions and make headlines in the numismatic community. In fact, let's talk about the auction scene. In recent years, collectors have become increasingly fascinated by modern coin errors, and the 1988 D quarter has had its moments in the spotlight. One spectacular example, a beautifully preserved coin with a visible double die error and off-center strike, was featured at a major auction house. Bidders competed fiercely, recognizing its rarity, and when the hammer finally dropped, the coin had sold for a price that stunned even seasoned experts. That sale cemented the 1988 D quarter as a modern marvel of American coinage, capable of fetching serious money. So what should you be doing right now? Go through your old coin jars, check your pocket change, and especially dig through those old quarter rolls. Examine every 1988 D quarter carefully for any signs of doubling, off-center strikes, strange clips, or odd textures. Even something small could be an indication of a valuable minting error. And if you find something unusual, don't hesitate to get it authenticated and graded by a reputable coin grading service. It's always better to be safe. You might just be holding a piece of coin history. Last unique coin is going to shine a spotlight on a quarter that might be hiding in your pocket change, completely overlooked, the 1994 United States $quarter coin. You may have handled this coin 100 times without thinking twice, but here's the exciting part: under the right conditions, this very coin could be worth a life-changing amount of money. So buckle up and listen closely, because we're about to take a deep dive into the rare errors, collector demand, and fascinating facts that make the 1994 quarter one of the hidden stars in modern coin collecting. The 1994 quarter was minted in Philadelphia and features the iconic portrait of George Washington on the obverse, designed by the legendary sculptor John Flanagan. On the reverse, the proud American eagle stands tall with wings spread, perched on a bundle of arrows, symbolizing strength and readiness. At a glance, this quarter looks just like millions of others minted that year, but for a few lucky coins, things didn't go exactly as planned during production. And that's where the story becomes truly exciting. Let's talk about errors, the kind that collectors absolutely love to find. One of the most thrilling discoveries involving the 1994 P quarter is the double die obverse. This error happens when the die that stamps the design onto the coin strikes it twice slightly out of alignment. The result? A ghostly shadow or doubling effect on inscriptions like "Liberty," "In God We Trust," or even the date itself. Spotting one of these errors takes a keen eye, but if you do, you could be looking at a quarter that's worth far more than 25 cents. Another rare and valuable error on the 1994 P quarter is the off-center strike. When the coin blank isn't properly aligned in the press, the design can be printed off to one side, with parts of it missing. These mistakes are instantly noticeable, and the more dramatic the off-center strike, especially if the date and mint mark are still visible, the more desirable and valuable the coin becomes. Every off-center strike tells its own story of how it slipped through mint inspections, and collectors go crazy for them. Now, imagine finding a broad strike error, where the coin is struck outside the collar that normally keeps its edges smooth and round. These coins appear larger and flatter, with stretched designs, and are quite rare. Add in a pristine condition and a strong eye appeal, and you've got a quarter that could sell for thousands at auction. Condition plays a massive role in value. A coin that's never been circulated, known as mint state, or MS, is especially valuable. The higher the grade, like MS65 or MS67, the greater the price collectors are willing to pay. Coins with errors that are also in mint condition are considered the crown jewels of modern quarters, a combination of flaw and perfection that serious collectors dream of owning. Let's not forget clashed die errors, where two dies strike each other without a planchet between them. This leaves ghostly impressions of one side of the coin on the opposite die, and when a new coin is struck, you'll see parts of both designs overlapped on a single side. If you ever find a 1994 P quarter with this eerie overlapping, you've discovered something incredibly rare and valuable, a true error collector's fantasy. Recently, collectors have been turning their attention to modern quarters as more and more errors from the 1980s and 1990s start surfacing in auctions. The 1994 P quarter has gained traction among numismatists for its high potential, especially as error coins continue to draw competitive bids. At auctions, even lightly circulated coins with dramatic errors have sold for surprising prices, showing just how much demand exists for coins from this period. As awareness grows, prices continue to rise, and what was once just spare change becomes a prized collectible. Now is the perfect time to go through your coin jars, drawer stashes, and those old quarter rolls. If you find a 1994 P quarter, take a close look at every detail. Use a magnifying glass, check for doubling, off-center designs, edge stretching, or any strange texturing. If anything looks out of the ordinary, don't ignore it. It could be a sign of a rare mint error. Get it checked out by a professional grading service, and you might just discover that you're holding a hidden treasure. We'd love to hear from all of you in the comments. Have you ever found a 1994 P quarter with a weird mark or unusual shape? Do you think you might have one of these rare varieties in your collection right now? Let us know. Sharing your finds and asking questions helps others learn, and who knows, your comment might be the clue another collector needs to identify their own rare coin, because yes, with the right error, in excellent condition, and the growing demand from collectors across the country, the 1994 P quarter has been known to sell for as much as $20,000. That's right. A quarter that once bought a piece of candy could now be worth more than an entire luxury vacation. So stay curious, keep searching, and never underestimate the coins in your collection. Your next big discovery might be hiding right in your hands.